another fucking video. Today, you're going to learn how to use emotional contrast. You're going to learn exactly how to find and how to dig the real pain that the prospect feels and how you can extrapolate that pain to close the prospects into taking action, which is buying your product, okay? In case you don't know me, my name is Lucas Guy. I make $50,000 a month. I work with 9-figure companies, and I was able to help thousands of people at this point to make more money with sales. So in this video, you are going to learn the proper way of using pain so that you can close everyone that is closable. You're also going to see my secret technique that I have been kind of hiding, but now it's on the open, which is mental maps, which is basically a way of linking the pain, linking the desire, linking everything that the prospect has told you in your mind so that you can create a mental map, a good direction on where the conversation should go. And I'm also going to be explaining to you how you can constantly be reshaping this so that, well, clearly you don't get lost in the word track. You clearly don't get lost in the conversation, or that you don't necessarily have to be thinking about this and not paying attention to the prospect. So you're going to see how you can adapt and how can you use this to build a lot of urgency so that people have the need to say, I need to do this today and not keep pushing this, AKA building urgency, okay? So one more pro tip that you're going to see in this video is that you will literally learn how to lead. I know that you know that in sales, leading is a bad thing. Well, not necessarily. You could lead in a way that you could use it to advance in the conversation when the conversation is kind of slow. I'm going to be teaching you how to do it in the good way and how not to do it in the wrong way, which sounds super telegraphed, it's super salesy, super manipulative. I'm not going to show you that. You're going to see the proper way of doing it. That being said, you're also going to see a very nice role play that you're going to enjoy and probably have a good laugh on. But as always, this will allow you to really understand how to navigate a discovery and really close everyone. Now, before I let you watch this video, don't forget that down here, you're going to see a link that is going to take you to a free Discord server that I created for free for you so that you can just spend time, you can have a community, so you can practice with people. Everything that you need, you will find there. And not just that, but every single Monday, I'm going to be doing a free coaching call where you can just hop in there for free and you can just talk to me. Ask me your questions and I will personally help you so that you can make more money. Okay? So that being said, subscribe, give a good like. Don't forget to do that and enjoy the video. Happy hunting. Well, welcome, beautiful ladies. In today's call, we're going to start with role plays. Before this, I'm going to tag everyone in the group chat, and I'm going to threaten everyone for not joining. I will kick your asses out. There you go. That should do it. So, that being said, oh, Tyler's sending a massive block of text. So, we can talk about the questions. And then we're going to practice a little bit of role plays, and hopefully the boys will stop doing whatever they're doing, and they're going to join. So, gents, ladies, do we have... We're going to start with questions. What do we got? And then we're going to do role plays. Something interesting? Otherwise, I'm jumping.
I have a question.
Go.
Yeah, so with the same frame that we have on this moves method offer, which is interesting because they joined the other day. So this morning I did the frame with the bus and the airplane that you gave me yesterday, but the lady was super non-committed. Like when I asked about how much time were you willing to let by, she's like, "Oh, I don't care how long it takes. I just want maintenance. It's not that big of a priority for me," etc.
Mm-hmm.
So it didn't work that well with her. My question is, can I do the normal frame, which is basically this is what we're going to do on the call to see if we can help you. We have options, and I'll make the best recommendation at the end. And then use that frame that you gave if they have a toolkit objection during the time. And yeah, because then we'd have leverage with the discovery.
Yeah, I mean, that was literally to pre-handle that. It's not the frame that I will always use. I would always be using the same
Okay.
frame. I mean, that's just in that particular case. I'm not going to drop the whole plane analogy versus going on a bus out of to everyone. It's like, why? Why be efficient?
Yeah.
So that's one thing. On the other side is it doesn't sound like commitment was the problem on that lady. It sounds like the problem was just the lack of a burning desire. So if someone doesn't have a burning desire or a burning pain, and you guys know that I'm more inclined to the pains, they're not going to buy it. They're not going to take action. So
Yeah.
I don't know about commitment, but if she
I
just
meant, yeah.
just want to maintenance, is like, okay, then just do yoga. I'm just going to unsell her. Did you
Yeah.
try that or
That's
not?
what I ended up doing. I
And
ended up unselling her.
and
Yeah, I meant committed to fixing a problem. Like she didn't seem to be like motivated to fix a problem. That's it.
so you don't have pain, you don't have a big desire, you don't have motivation. Do you see how difficult it is to close now with those stuff?
Yeah.
So basically, the whole point is that when you're having the calls, you are very quickly like drawing a map. This is what you could do. I'll I'll show it. I'll show it like this, and all of you can do this. I'm not. All of you know that I really want all of you to be constantly to what you have in front of you, not necessarily being looking at notes all the time, or I don't know, looking at the checklist selling and that stuff. But what you guys could do, just to have a quick reference, at least something very quick, so that you know if the discovery should move forward to the pitch. If you don't know it or you're not sure, you just do this. So you're writing in basically the paper that you have next to you. Okay, with a pen, you do this. You put cop and you put MIT. That's simple. Okay, and I'll probably add a D, and you're going to see what that means. So I'll probably do this. You could do it mentally if you're sharp. If you feel like you might be confused, then just write it down. It's literally going to take a second. And then you just see, so in this call, did I get commitment? Yeah, I did. Did I get ownership? Yeah, I did. Did I get pain? I didn't. Did I get motivation? No, I didn't. Did I get interested? Meh, kinda. So if it's a kinda, it's a no. Okay. Did I get trust? Yeah, I did. Did I get a deed will be basically the desire. Did I get a burning desire? No, not really. So I look at this, basically, you just and then you just do a math, which is how many plus do I have? I have 3 pluses and I literally have 4 negatives. Therefore, this is a negative. Therefore, the pitch does not happen. Math. Make sense? Like this is in a very easy way of doing it without really overcomplicating anything. If you if you see that the positive is bigger, then sure, go to the pitch. If you see the negative is bigger, then you cannot go to the pitch, no matter what. You can't. And even if you have, I did this on purpose so that you will never be tied down, and also a tie, like 3 and 3. Also because desire is super important and we're not really counting it here. But let's say you have a case where it's basically, and I'm not even kidding, if I have a 4 positive and a 3 negative, that is still a pitch that doesn't take place. Because I don't know, maybe if the trust factor is super big, like she really, really trusts me, then maybe I would do it. And all of you see me, I did literally special calls where I only closed based on trust, did nothing else. And you see me close anyways. So yeah, you can play in the trust. That might be. So trust might be the only exception to go in this aspect. Other than that, I wouldn't do it at all. Other than that, it's like if it's 4-3, I'm not doing it. I'm always going for 5-2. 5-2, 6-1, 7-0. Those are the cases that I'm doing it. Does this make sense, everyone? Yeah,
I have a question on that.
go for it.
Are there any scenarios where you could just be very direct and ask something like, so what's your main motivation for doing this? Like, let's say you have four and you don't really know where to go and you want to get at least one more. Could you ask that, or would that not be good to be that direct?
I'm always in favor of being direct. The thing is that the more non-transparent you could be, the better, but at the same time, you don't want to be leading. So, for example, if I ask you, okay, what's your motivation for doing this? Motivation is really meh. I mean, it doesn't feel salesy, so it's a very great example. But if you say, what is your pain with this? And I was like, okay, what the fuck? So you got to be kind of careful on how you're asking the stuff. I would say that for each of these, you could I would like you guys to do this indirectly through the discovery and through the connections that you guys are getting, and mentally you know that you got this stuff. But let's say you go to the end and you realize that you kind of fucked and you didn't got all the stuff. So then you can be a bit more direct because you already talked with the person. So maybe you did a good discovery, but you're kind of missing on important factors. I don't know. Maybe you just weren't specific. So you can just ask questions that are direct, but it feels kind of detached. So for example, commitment. Mm, okay, this seems like it's something you really want to do, but based on what you told me, based on the fact that you have been doing this for 6 months and you still haven't got the results, I don't I don't know what would be different now. Why would this be different? Why would this be the reason why you actually win with this? And now they're going to tell you, and that's going to be them committed. Yeah. I wouldn't be saying, are you committed to do this? Maybe I would. It's not a bad question, but I would probably not do it like that. If I need them to take ownership, I would say, and let's say I didn't, I would say, okay, so for the following this example, for the past 6 months, you've been trying to do this and never got any results. Do you think it's, and please be honest with me. This, I promise you, not a trick question, prospect. The reason you haven't succeeded is because literally the market is just playing a trick on you, is because God hates you, or maybe you just didn't really knew how to do the stuff. They're going to say, no, I just didn't know how to do the stuff. Okay. Do you want to change that? Yes. Boom, ownership. Do you see? Now let's say I need to know about pain. Then I'm going to say, so I understand why you want to do this, but at the same time, can I be honest with you? Yeah, yeah. Okay. I'm seeing that you don't have this big motivator to do it. So, for example, maybe you would understand me this way, prospect. I want to have a more jacked body, but if I only want it, I'm not gonna kill myself in the gym and eat perfectly and stuff. I'm not gonna do that unless I really, really want that body. Unless I have a good reason on doing it. Something that annoys me. I look at myself in the mirror and I hate how I am. I'm ashamed. If the case is like that, I would do it. Do you think it will be the same in your case? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. So I'm not seeing that burning reason on your side. Is there something else we haven't discussed? And now it's like I made it as a yapathon. Probably would be doing it shorter, but I want all of you to understand it as well. Which is I want him to feel comfortable telling me his biggest problem. And with that, he would do it. So that's one. The fourth one, which is basically the motivation aspect. And I'm just gonna say, okay, it I can see why this is important to you, but I'm not seeing a lot of desire on your side to actually make it happen. Do you really want to do this? No, yes, I do. Why? Why not just stay in the same situation? That's what I'm not understanding. Oh, well, I mean, because blah, 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 blah. Now we get the motivation. If I want to know their interest in this, and this is a question that you should always ask, is why? Okay, so Jared, you want to lose weight with us? There's one thing that I'm not understanding, which is why us? Because you have, I don't know. I open Instagram and I see five retards telling me that I'm gonna get a six-pack ab in 20 minutes if I do 60 crunches without breathing. So What's the difference between them and us? I don't understand. And now you're justifying why we're the best. And now with that, I got you interested in us. Yeah. The last one, which is the trust. This one, I'm not going to do it in an example, but it's basically what you do through the whole call, how you speak to them, how you genuinely care about finding the best solution for them. Saying stuff like, okay, Mr. Prospect, you're telling me all this. I'm not sure you should do this so far. And being having the balls to say that to the prospect really will build a lot of trust. All right. I have unsold multiple people because I knew it was a bad idea. And that builds so much trust. They thank me so much. Now, obviously, these are examples where I didn't close for obvious reasons. But in the examples that I closed as well, people really thank me. You guys seen it. People really thank me because they say this guy really wants the best for me. So that's how you build the trust. Always having their concerns in mind and not so much yours. And finally, which is the desire, is, and this is the easiest one because you don't even need to think of a good question because it's like, hey, what do you want to accomplish? So why do you want to do this? Well, what's the vision here? And you just ask it because people will never be triggered by talking about their desires. They really like that. If you want to have a big arms, you're going to say, I want to have big arms. It's like, it's not a problem. The problem is saying, I hate the fact that I have small arms, and like, you know, that's kind of like where it goes more difficult. So this is the indirect way of getting it. I pretty much did a masterclass for no reason on this, but good, bad, makes sense.
Yeah,
No.
that was good. Makes sense.
Okay. Anything you want to ask me on this? Anyone?
I do have a question related to this, if possible.
Yeah.
Um, so this offer I'm doing is a B2B and done for you. So I was wondering, where does commitment come into an offer like this where we're essentially selling, doing everything for them? Like what kind of commitment would they need for something like that, other than like financial?
I don't know. That's what you gotta ask. It's like you're asking me. You should be asking the prospect. Why is so important for you to go through with this? Especially knowing that I'm going to be doing it for you. No, well, I mean, it's important for me to know it because I can make more money, because I can free up time, because I will be able to travel with my wife, Teresa, to Greece. And I always wanted to do that. And you doing this for me will give me the possibility of doing it. The commitment on why they will want to go through with that stuff, it is basically the question that you got to ask them, masked with like 50 questions, where basically you're going to find out what's the real reason why they're on the call and why they would be committed to do it. So basically, this will look like, okay, Aiden, so you're telling me that you want to do this so that you can make more money, but also because you just want to have more time so that you can take your wife Teresa to Greece next month. Is that the goal here? Yeah, it's that's genuinely the goal. Okay, so is it relevant for you to go with Teresa, or is like you just want to, or you want to like push that idea? No, no, no. I really want to go with her. So do you know for sure that this is going to help you do it? Yeah, yeah. This does. Okay, so would it make sense for you if all numbers align and everything for you to do this so that you can go and trial with her and then get more benefits? 100%. That's your commitment. Okay, the commitment is not necessarily, yes, I'm going to train every day because I want that body. It's like, no, yes, I want to do this because I know you are going to give me more time. It could be so many ways. It's like so many variances of that. That makes sense?
Yeah, I had to ask because the calls that I've watched from the reps that they've done there,
Yeah.
it's like they're not really going super deep in a discovery. It's just kind of like a strategic conversation. Like the guys, they don't pull in any sort of frame. It's like they answer, thanks for booking in with us. And then they kind of talk a little bit about like the guys are asking questions and the team are just kind of like answering it, and then they go into a pitch later on, and it's like, so when I'm watching these calls and what they're doing, I'm like, but how can I get these things that we need to get like the commitment, the ownership, the pain? Because it's like I'm not seeing these people get anything, you know.
Yeah,
That's why I wanted to ask.
yeah, that's a lack of skill on their side. They just, because they just don't know it. It's, if you don't know it, again, the women analogy that you guys always like. If I don't know how to talk to a girl, and I just show up to her and I start doing juggling in front of her, like with balls, I don't think that's gonna work out. But I don't know how to do it, so I'm just gonna do whatever. That makes sense. I just don't know what to do. So that's kind of like the whole situation here. Yeah, makes sense. That's just, so my whole point is, if they don't know how to do it, they're not going to do it. Don't expect that out of them. Also, keep in mind that this is a common thing with people who are kind of in business like this, because they just think a consultation call is the best thing that they can do. It's just like literally a consultation call where you just get asked questions. But the thing is that the whole frame is on the prospect side. The whole prospect decides. And if they like what they see, they are buying. But you have no power. The whole point in what I am teaching you guys is that you can get the power, you can get the frame so that people want to buy. And not just that, but that you have the frame to even unsell them yourself. How are you going to, unselling is such a powerful technique, but how are you going to unsell someone who has the frame? They're just going to say, yeah, fuck off. Right? So my whole point and what I'm trying to explain to you is, don't compare yourself to them. When you go into the call, you need to say, I'm going to be asking you questions just to make sure that this is what you need. And then I would like you to ask me any questions that you have while I'm explaining the program to you. And you tell me that you think this is what you need. And if we both agree that this is a good move for you, we can talk about details, such as investment money, such as how much time would you need, blah, blah, blah. And if you want to do it, we go forward. If you don't want to, you don't do it. That's fine. So even just having a frame like that makes people open up so much more, and they will respect you. If you show up as, do you know what this
Yeah.
reminds me? This reminds me to the copywriting days, where basically you show up and you just, yes, ask me questions, and the dude says, yeah, I'll think about it, and you just get fucked. It's like, no, no, no. Like, maintain yourself the frame. You are the authority. You are the expert. They should treat you like that, because it will only give you more chances of closing. That makes sense? Or what you should do, or what you should not do.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to rewatch that and take some notes. Another big thing I've noticed for these guys is barely any of them are doing like one call closes because they have calls with like these executives from companies. Like one of the clients they've had is Adidas. Do you know what I mean? So they have like a member of marketing who come to the call and they're like, okay, well, I haven't been given a budget of how much we can allocate to this, and then they go away, they get emailed a proposal, and then they have like two or more calls or something after that, and it's like such a long process in some cases. Most of the time, it's two calls.
Well, of course. Aiden, I want you to think about this. Imagine that you want to buy, I don't know, an iPad. You just like it. You know it's going to help you, but you don't find an immediate use to it. But you like the idea of having an iPad. You go and talk to the seller, and he says, yeah, it's going to be 1K for this iPad. You're like, should I spend 1K on this? And maybe you just go, you think about the stuff, you talk with some friends on it, you sleep on it. And you say, yeah, maybe you should. Can you tell me again what was the price? What were the functions? Oh, yeah, okay. And then you just don't respond to them anymore, because you have the frame. And if the buyer has the frame, the decision is pushed eternally, unless the buyer needs it, has a need, an urgency, a deadline. In that case, it's different. In that case, the buyer having the frame is a good thing, because he just wants to do it. It's the typical. And I say, I'm always using this example. I closed the guy in 7 minutes. He had the frame. He just said, I want to do it. I said, why? No, because I want to do this because this is this. And I know it's going to require this, and I know I'm going to do this, but I'm going to make it happen anyways. So, okay. All right. You really want it that bad? Yeah. Sure. So sometimes, but this is of course an exceptional case. Okay. This is an exceptional case. Not necessarily something that should be the common thing in your goals. Yes? Makes sense? So that translates into you should always have the frame. All right. Someone else has more questions? People who raise their hands, or are you just like saying hi to me? Hi.
I don't have a question. I just expand on the first topic, which was you can literally just ask someone. So for me, sometimes when I still don't know why they're even on this call. I literally go through the W's, point blank questions. For
Yeah.
example, Luca, I don't understand. We've been talking for 10 minutes. Why exactly are you here? What's the problem? They tell me. Okay, and why did that happen? And they'll tell me. Okay, so why is that a problem? Why do you want to fix it? Like I just go literally ask them that, but after, like you said, I build that rapport where it just comes out so natural.
Yes. Being very real as well with the conversation. I don't understand why you're here. So very good. Absolutely.
Yeah, I just wanted for the frame for the moves method, because there's a lot of us on there, to make sure that's correct. We do this normal frame that we have, which is we're going to jump right into things. How this is going to work is the purpose is to see how we can help you the most with whatever programs that we have. And we're going to figure that out. I'm going to ask you questions, then you can ask me questions, and we'll get started if it's a fit. And then I'm a direct person. That's the frame, correct?
You kind of butcher it at the beginning, but yeah, it's the idea is
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
Okay, it's the same, despite the fact that they have the toolkit as their.
Well,
We only bring that up later on, right?
that's the thing.
Depends.
So I'll tell you the correct thing is that before they book in a call, they should answer a question in a type form or anything that says, "Are you just looking for something free?" Or do you feel like investing is the right move? Like, because that thing is like $27, I think you said.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like also you close someone on that. Do you even get a commission? Do you get $2.7?
No, so they already got the 27 toolkit, and the the call is marketed as a mobility evaluation that is a free call along with the toolkit they just bought.
Then of course, I think you should have started with that. So if the marketing is completely destroying you, what do you expect to do on the other side? So obviously, since a few of you are there, best thing that you can is just talk with the business owner, the CEO, the CMO, and just say, hey, so I'm getting on calls and people are literally just telling me I want my free coaching call. And I have to explain to them that it is not a free coaching call. And then they say to me, oh, but it says that it's a free coaching call. So now I have to give a free coaching call on mobility. And then I have to Aikido them ninja style. So I see if I can upsell them into more. So that is literally something that all of you have to do because it is not good. The second thing is that if you have no power over that, the frame that you can do is, whilst maintaining the normal frame that you should do because it's the correct thing.
Yeah.
You say, I'm gonna ask you questions. This is how you mix it. I'm gonna ask you questions to really understand your situation and see how we can help you the most. Okay. And then you can ask me any questions that you want, of course. Now, with the questions that I'm going to be asking you, they will be very focused on your life. So I can know if it really makes the most sense for you to just stay with the toolkit that basically is like $20. That's good, which is literally the initial point for you to have excellent mobility. Or I'm going to be seeing that you will need more in-depth help. And I'm going to also be explaining you the possibility of working with us and what that would look like, what that time would require. How is that program? How much is the investment? I'll explain everything to you. And if you're interested, we can do it. If you're not, we cannot do it. It's fine. That makes sense? Yes. Okay, cool. So I'll ask you a few questions. Then you can ask me questions about this more complex program. In case I told you that you need it, because if I see that you don't, it's like, don't even worry about it. And then we can see if we end up working together or not. Make sense? Makes sense. Why am I doing this? First, pay attention to how I'm saying it. It's like super casual. It's super casual. It's like, all right, we're just going to see this. That's the first. The second thing is that I'm putting it as a no pressure, as this is not going to be, I'm not going to be pitching you on this. I'm just going to see if it makes sense for you to do this. And the third thing that I'm doing is, of course, I know internally that I'm going to pitch them anyways. Like, obviously, I'm going to. And the third thing is that you basically will tell them, okay, so the toolkit will help you to start. It's a great starting point based on what you told me. But the reality is that based on X, Y, and Z that you told me, how fast do you want this? Or how with how much quality do you want this? Or for how long do you want this to be? So depending on the angle that they give you that they need, you just use that to insert basically the high program. I want this for longevity. Okay. So based on the fact that you want longevity, can I be honest? Your body probably deserves more attention than a $20 course. It will help, but it's not going to be enough if you want longevity. That makes sense? Yeah, it makes sense. Okay. If they want more quality in their joints, I don't even know what you guys are selling. I'm going to say, okay, so I can help you with that. But the reality is that the difference is, and you just make an analogy. Let's say the person is into cars. You say, okay, it's not the same to have a Fiat Clio. I don't know. I don't know about cars, but let's just think of a shitty car than to have a Mustang or a Lambo. Like, there is a difference, right? So this is pretty much what we're talking right now. If you're fine with this little car, we just stay. If you want this car, all right. Do you want a Prius and be called a gay, or do you want a Lambo and be called a man? I don't know. You tell me. That's pretty much how it is. And you just use this angle consistently with everyone so that you can use a frame like that. Does that make sense? What did you say?
It does make sense, yes. And that, to give you context, how they do the calls is technically they start with, we're just going to evaluate your current situation, and then I'll give you my expert opinion at the end on what would be the thing that we could help you the most with, or like how we could help you the most, basically. And then they build the whole discovery, they are really big on building the gap, they say.
Yes.
And they build all of that. And then they say at the end, to be completely honest with you, like, in my opinion, I do not think the toolkit is what's going to get you to X. And they like say this is why, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then they move into the
That's
pitch.
the problem.
Yes.
So the first part is perfect. I agree. I agree. Selling is, I don't like it just saying it like this because it's simplifying it. It's more complicated than that, but it's literally just building a gap and showcasing that gap. Like, the more you can expand that gap, people will be like, oh yeah, yeah, I need to fix this. So yes, of course, that
Mhm.
they said is perfect. The problem is that the prospect, your closers are saying, I believe that you need more, when instead you're just showcasing. So you want this and this and this and this and this, and you're going for a $20 course. So what do you believe? Do you believe this is the right choice? No, not really. Really, why not? No, I mean, because I know that if I invest more and I get a better coaching, my life is going to improve more. Really? You don't think that with just spending $20, you're going to have the greatest mobility ever? Really? Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, so I'm just going to make them sell themselves to me. It's
Yeah.
me selling them the idea. Make sense?
Exactly. Yeah. That would work a lot better. The reason they do it that way is because they've built it as an authority. So they're like, okay, here's my diagnosis for you, basically. But that would work better for selling themselves. The issue with that, for example, I had a call the other day. The person, they do really well with the marketing. So the person truly believed that the toolkit was going to help him. He was super excited. He's like, yeah, like I can't wait to get started on the toolkit. Can't wait to fix my mobility issues. Like I'm totally committed to doing this. It's like, So when I tried to do an angle like that, he's like, yeah, like the mobility toolkit, it's gonna help me.
That's your fault. You just haven't. You want to talk about gaps? You haven't built a gap big.
Mm.
It's just your job when you're having the call, because they believe that with that is just enough. So if I am saying to them, and then it comes again the plane versus the bus analogy. Do you want to go to that city through plane that's going to take 1 hour? You can be comfortable, or do you want to go by bus and take 12 hours and be uncomfortable? No, I want to go with the bus. What? Why? I'm literally going to be reacting that way if they tell me that. So clearly you haven't built that gap good enough. That's one. That's on your side. On the second side, that is, no. They say like that because it builds an authority. It's like, no, you can still be an authority and giving and allowing them to get to the conclusions. I'll give you the example. I am a doctor. I'm literally a doctor. So when I was working in the ER, let's say that you were my patient, Isabel. You show up. You have pretty much a cut here that is bleeding. Your whole face is bleeding, right? And I patch you up quickly, and I go do an X-ray. I do an X-ray. We see that you have literal inflammation on your brain because of a blunt object hit you. I don't know. I said, okay, what you could do now is you could just take some painkillers and see if you can survive, or you can get proper treatment. We can talk to the surgeon and see what we can do to actually improve whatever, because your face will never be the same because you have literally a gigantic cut there. You're going to have a massive scar. And you say, oh, just take some painkillers. Are you, my actual response will be, are you retarded? It's like, what? You're going to have a gigantic scar on your face. You're bleeding out. You just want to take a painkiller. If you said that to me, I'm going to literally call you that. But the whole point is that you will never do it because I'm going to be explaining the difference to you. With a painkiller, you're going to go, your face is going to be ruined, blah, 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 blah. On the other side, if you, God damn it, if you on the other side, the chat is just unbelievable. On the other side, you look at the situation and you say, okay, so I'm going to have a gigantic scar. I'm going to maybe have permanent damage. Yeah, I should do this. Makes sense. So I'm appealing to your reasoning powers. And because you're going to come to the conclusion by yourself, it's going to be 10 times more powerful. So now you are the one telling me, yeah, we should talk to the surgeon with the specialist. But if you end up telling me, yeah, I'm just going to take the painkillers, then me as a doctor, I didn't do a good job diagnosing you. Does it make sense, the difference with this?
Yeah.
Yeah? All right. Let me, 1 second. I know, Tyler, you want to ask stuff, but Carlitos, Jesus fuck. So let me, oh no, there's a lot of messages. Okay, I need a second. I genuinely need a second on this. So you have a lot of questions from Tyler. I'm gonna get that now in a second. What does MIT stand for? You motherfucker, how you don't know that? Are you new in this mentorship? Motivation, interest, trust. Yes. Is the key points so you can influence someone. Commitment, ownership, pain, motivation, interest, trust, desire. Is that right? Yes, sir. Cooking, commitment to make the change. Thanks for booking in. Super excited to dig into what you have going on. Oh no. That's so painful. When you see people who say, thanks for booking in, thanks for joining, is first of all, the worst. But then you see people, I don't want to roast the guy who says this, but you see him like this. Literally, when he role plays it and when he teaches people to do this, they do it like this. So super excited to have a deep conversation. And you see him, the dude wants to kill himself. At least if you're gonna lie good. Say, I'm really excited to have a good conversation. That's the way it's gonna be believable. The problem is that why are you excited? What? So it's fucked up anyways. But yeah, that's the problem. Perfect timing for a woman analogy. I don't know. They tell us to act like a consultant on the call. Just give me a shout. I'll jump in and give them some advice. Then I'll leave you free to close them. Yeah, it's bad. I mean, you can act as a consultant. It's not a bad thing. One thing is to be a consultant that is an authority. Another one is to be a bitch that believes is a consultant and has no authority. Because that's what these guys are doing. They have no authority. They're not consultants. They're just little bitches for a prospect to play with. Not good. Mm, God forbid it's that. Carlitos, Jesus fuck. You got me with that one. You really got me. Looks like, yeah, pretty much. What is this? What is the biggest? Oh yeah, being excited is yeah. It's just weird. Why would you be excited? Genuinely, why would you be excited? It's just weird. Imagine this, so that the point is clear. Women analogy. You go to a chick. You just like you meet her, right? You text her on Instagram. Hey, let's meet up, have a coffee. As soon as you see her, I am super excited to meeting you. Oh my God, this guy never had fucking sex. So that's my point. It's just not good. It's not good, right? So, anyways, that being said, Tyler N, do you want to ask me a question or do you just want me to read the?
Yeah. Nah, forget those ones. I want it to be more real. So the thing is, I know how to be a consult what? But yeah, a person who they can consult with, and I have all the interest in heart and everything else. But there's this piece of me which is worried, which is worried about me going back to being an attacker, because all of that came from attachment. So how do I manage to still uphold that mentality? Because right now I know how to make the call all about them, perform less, have empathy, have their concerns and heart and everything else, and still and still be super detached. But how do I get over that worry that I might go back to being a guy who's attached and get triggered on calls? Essentially, I'm worried about if I will get triggered. You guys are laughing so much.
Why? I'll give you the way that I think about it. Maybe this will help. Why would I be concerned in stepping backwards when my eyes are in front of me, where my vision is? I only go forward. I'm not even I'm not even preparing myself to go backward because why would I do that? Why would I even
Mhm.
entertain the idea of saying, ah, what if I do this? I don't even think it that way. I think thinking that way is for a loser. I think thinking that way is for someone who's going to fail. Or gay, do you identify with any of those groups?
Nah.
You sure, neighbor?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Then why are you concerned about something that is not going to happen?
I think it's because I haven't been on calls. Because, like, to be honest, I used to be super excited when I hop on calls and learn something new. And I would feel like super competent with myself when I see, because you know that knowledge turns into wisdom when you apply it. And after I apply it, I feel so good. I'll be like, yeah, I'm fucking G. Even though it's not about the clothes and shit like that, it's just application. But yeah,
But you had a lot of calls already and you applied it. So
yes, sir.
when are you going to have calls again? Do you know?
Yeah, on the 19th.
Okay. So basically a week and a half from now.
Yeah.
Mm, oh, gym analogy. It's women analogy and gym analogy. So if I go to the gym and I learn how to do bicep curls, and then I don't go to the gym for like 2 weeks, am I concerned that I'm gonna forget how to do a bicep curl?
No.
And that would stop me from going to the gym? No, I'm just gonna go. And if I do it incorrectly, I'm just gonna pay attention to how I did it and improve the next time and the next time and the next time. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, thank you. Now, my second question is based on this thing about making everything about the prospect and working from their perspective. I think that when I'm role playing it, it makes me develop a bit of empathy, but I'm worried that how can I balance the duality of saying, you know what, I'm not here to fuck around. I will still be serious, be an authority, but still have that healthy balance of I understand where you're coming from and I see everything. Because I don't want to be those people who say, oh, totally understand XYZ, you know?
The question is not what you said. The question is, how do I become real? Which is what I am teaching you guys. Because when unfortunately, or not unfortunately, because it's going to make me the best coach ever. Unfortunately, let's just leave it at that. 99% of sales reps, they literally say something like, totally makes sense. 100%. I agree. Completely. I would do the same if I was you. But it's fake. Like they genuinely say it because it's fake because they read in a book that, or an idiotic influencer said that you have to agree with them all the time because that's gonna make them buy, right? I completely, again, women analogy. Don't listen, Isabel. If you're a man and you want to be with women, if you agree with everything they say, you'll never be with a woman. I can fucking guarantee you that. This is facts. So my point is, aka a simp, literally. It's like you're basically being a simp. Not gonna help you. So my point is, it's the same here. If you just agree with everything, they're going to think this guy is an idiot or what? Like imagine just the idea of saying totally makes sense, but may I share a perspective? And then you just go and say something completely different to what they say. So why the fuck are you saying it? Why then? So when I say something like, and to make it simpler for you, I can sometimes in calls say, makes sense, I understand. But I'm saying that because I genuinely understand.
Mhm.
Genuinely. There's genuinely a valid point. For example, before this call, I had a call where I think, who was there? Jared? Amro? That I was role playing with Andronator on objections. And I don't know what he said. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't recall. But I said, oh, Tyler, you were there too. I said, I understand that. I mean, it makes sense. But do you want that? It was something like that. I'm paraphrasing it. But because he literally said
Mhm.
something that made sense. So, okay, that makes sense. But if they give me a stupid objection, like I need to think about it, totally, totally.
Mhm.
Right? Does that make sense? It's basically
Let
being,
me
tell me.
crystallize everything for you. Like when I get into that state where I'm like chilled, relaxed with everything, I sometimes tend to worry that, you know what, if you're so chilled, what if it gets to that point where you're dealing with a disrespectful prospect? Oh, never mind. I guess that comes to assume formlessness because you gotta switch up on the call and be like, hey, I'm going to be this type of leader in XYZ. So is that how you do it? Because once you say, this is their life, I don't care. I'm just going to understand and make it about them. It gets to that point where you deal with someone who's an idiot, who's being an idiot. So that's my concern. I don't want to be that guy who gets walked all over.
No, 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 no. You're confusing topics. So there is, all of you know by now the training on perception and perspective. Hopefully. Does everyone knows it in here? Aiden doesn't. So, explanation for Aiden and for everyone watching, whatever. Perception is how you see the world. Perception is how you see the world. Basically, I think that not working out is extremely gay and you should die in hell for if you never work out. Little extremist, but it's what I believe. There's other people who their perception is that working out is not even good, not even important. It doesn't even matter if I am right or wrong. Of course, I am right, but it doesn't matter. My point is, it is my perception to believe this, and it's their perception to believe that. And the premise is that you live on your perception, and then you can see everyone's perspectives. Every perspective that you see is literally a perception of that person. So Jake has his perception, I have my perception. But if I look at Jake, I don't see a perception, I see a perspective. That makes sense so far? You're lost with that.
Yeah.
I'm seeing Aiden. I'm going to treat Aiden as the crowd. So Aiden is kind of lost. The perception is me, my lens to see the world. And then you have different perspectives, which are the lens of Carlitos, of Jake, of Russian Comrade, of everyone, of you. Everyone has their own glasses that you call it a perception, but I call it a perspective because it's far from me. Now it makes sense. Excellent. Now, the whole point here is that you always, and this ties to your question, Tyler, the perception that you have has to be strong, has to be very strong, so that you can be perceived as an authority in who you are and how you act based on your morals and your ideals. That perception is strong and shouldn't be moved. For example, if someone said to me that, Luca, you should take 3 days off a week, it doesn't matter if it is Aiden or if it is the Queen of England, which is pretty much the same. I'm going to tell them they're gay. Like, Ginny, you're gay. Okay? But there is a difference in when someone, no way she's dead. What? There is a difference. Oh, wow, Aiden, take the place. And there is a difference if, let's say, Aiden or the dead Queen of England said, you should take 1 day off. I'm not going to call them gay. I'm going to say, I see. Why do you believe that? Completely different. Because now I'm seeing on their perspective. And depends what's at stake. I'm going to be more indulgent with their perspective. And I'll give you a good example. I got this tattoo yesterday. When the woman who does this tattoo was talking to me, she has a different perspective on me, on the world, on some topics. Nothing crazy, but I'm pretty sure that if I say something like the typical conversations that I have with you guys, probably something wouldn't be okay. Probably it's going to create some conflicts. So I'm not going to say those stuff because I am aware of her perspective on the world, and I am matching what I have with my perception and her perspective so that we can have a very good conversation. And she fucking loves me. And I really like her as well. But we both share what to share. We both choose what to share. And this is something that all of us do, by the way, because I know that the way you are, Aiden, I don't know, or not even Aiden, anyone. It's not the same going to be talking to your granny than to Jake Amro, the biggest degenerate in the planet. There is a difference, right? There is an incongruency in how you're going to speak. Jake getting roasted for no reason. So my point is, there is a difference. And the whole idea is that you can see the differences and you can play on that without losing yourself, which is the question that Tyler is asking. So without losing your authority in who you are, you have to see what is their perspective and meet them with that, with the things that calibrate on your side, without being indulgent in a way that it will hurt them. And that's the problem with closing, that you don't know for sure if you can say or you cannot say stuff because they will be triggered. But the problem is the idea of the closer is to keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing. And those boundaries, you push them a little bit more because your authority is so big that you are creating something that is making people shape how they see the world and take action. But you cannot be, if you have someone who is extremely like an old person or someone with, I'm going to call it gay morals because you get offended by words, you're not going to drop the neighbor word like out of nowhere because they're going to be pissed off, even though you didn't even mean to offend anyone. So my point is, everything has to be contextualized and see what you have in front. I'm making a yapathon of this, but I want this point to be ultra clear. Because the more you can understand the difference on how to play with perceptions and perspectives, the better you're going to be as a closer. Because it's all about them, always about them. But you need to be able to see how much you're showcasing of yourself to not create a conflict. But if you share too much, you're going to create trouble. If you share too little, they're going to walk all over you. So there's a middle point, which is what you want to do. And this is all that I wanted to explain. There is a middle point. And mastering that middle point is something that you guys have to master. And the only way to do that is with practice and with social collaboration. Because with Jake, that middle point will be more on this side. Maybe with Isabel, it's going to be more on this side. Maybe with Russian comrade will be on this side. And it just goes on like this. And you have to see where is that middle point. But if you know how to do it, excellent conversations, and you will not be walked over. Quite in the opposite. You're going to be the one walking over because if you know what's the limit, now you know you can push a little bit more. And the limit, instead of being here, it's now here. And then you can push a little bit more, and it's here. Push a little bit more, and it's here. And you do it in a way that the prospect doesn't even realize it. And they're falling for your frame. Is this making sense?
Yeah, makes sense. Like how when I'm talking to Russian comrade, let's say straight and versus me talking to Liam, it's like the whole gayness is on the other side. So now I understand how everything works. So it's like working with Russian comrades perspective and being like, oh, straight man, XYZ. And then Liam's perspective, which is like we are okay, we're all taking off shirts and everything. So yeah, makes sense. Now, on still on that question. The thing I wanted to ask, how do you work with the current when you've seen their perspective? Like with Jake, he was role playing a prospect that was like, yeah, I'm sad about it. I go to therapy, but he didn't want to expand. And he's like, yeah, I have a great mindset, da da da. And then I said, yeah, I appreciate a great mindset. It's something that you should have. But did that, did that uh still hurts you? And Jake said, nah, he doesn't like the part that always say but because it's like I compliment the mindset to take it down again. Yeah, so that's what happened. Fucking no.
Well, what's the question in that? What's the question in that?
The question is, how do I work with the current? Because I want them to face reality and admit to their pain. But they always say, I have a great mindset with XYZ. And I still, yeah, I appreciate the mindset, but personally, how did it feel? Then they let me know. And I did that like again and again. And I wanted to know how can I do that in a way that won't trigger them in a sense.
Because you're doing it with words. You don't. So I'll give you a rule for life, and then we're going to tailor it to closing. The rule for life is
Mhm.
you do never win a discussion. You do never win an argument with words. You do it through actions. You don't argue. With actions, you win the conflict. Applying that to closing is you don't win a conflict with words, you do it with data. So you're trying to change his perspective with just your words, when in reality, what's going to change him without conflictive is the data. So I don't know, Jake telling me that he's doing great financially. Okay. How much money did you make last month? What about 6 months? For how long have you been in this job? What are the things you couldn't afford? And just then I look at the data and I say, is this being good financially? No. Okay. You want to change it? So it's
Yeah.
like data, they cannot argue. Your words, they can argue as much as they want. But with data, they had nothing to argue against. That makes sense?
I did it with data, with everything. It's just that this guy wanted to be the irritate of the call. I don't know for what reason. He didn't want to admit the fact that he was sad, even though I showed him everything. And he's like, "Yeah, I'm going at it. I know this won't stop me, XYZ, XYZ." But I still wanted to say, okay, I know that you have this great mindset, but how did this reality make you feel and XYZ? So, yeah.
And again, that's being real. If I have that prospect, I'm going to say, okay, so I can see that you have a great mindset, but I can see it's a double-edged sword. They're going to say, they're going to ask why, and I'm going to say, well, because it's literally stabbing you as well, because you believe that you're so good that you don't have to change stuff. And the first step to actually change and improve is to swallow the big pill that you don't like and say, yeah, my life is fucked. I need to change it. And until you don't do that and you just stay in positive city, you're never going to fix it. The whole point is that you have to jump and basically say, I'm going to change my life, the positive mindset you have, but then you have to basically swallow that tough pill and you say, I have to do this. And then you just go back to positive city. But you cannot just stay in positive city without ever visiting this. And then you can even drop the analogy of the tree, that, the tree that goes to heaven is because it has the roots in hell. I don't know if you guys know about that one, but it's like, if you
Nope.
want, right, if you want a tree to go as high as to the clouds and reach heaven, the roots have to be deep into the hell, because it's like the size of it. So you're never gonna reach heaven without, having roots in hell. That's pretty much the analogy. I don't know. It's really self-explanatory in this case. You can just say that, which is, if you want to go to the positive and have the great stuff, you have to own those negatives. You have to suffer the pain. If you want to have that great body, you have to train. If you want to become that successful guy, you have to go through this hustle. My point. So if you can explain that to the prospects, like, boom, solid. Make sense then?
Yeah. Ooh, that cooked. But thank you, my neighbor.
Oh no. Okay. Cool. Anyone else has a question? Well, wait, actually, let me read this chat. Oh no. Of course, someone was gonna say something on that. 6-minute close, is that a record? Bro confirmed earlier today, but no showed. All right. So I hope you send the message to that guy. Awesome. So, ladies, gentlemen, nothing? Role plays? Yes? Aiden Ren Pias.
Sorry to ruin the fun. I was just thinking it's quite likely that I'm going to get on calls with people who know more about lead gen, who have been through countless agencies and stuff before. And I wondered if there was like any particular ways to Aikido my way through if I'm being like put in a vice or something.
I don't understand. What would be the problem if they ask something very specific and you don't know it?
Yeah, I just feel like the chances are people are going to come onto calls and just be like, we've worked with XYZ, they fucked us over, we've done this, and then they start grilling me about certain things. And it's like, well, if you've been in marketing for 30 years and you're asking me all these things I don't fucking know, then, I don't want to look like a prick. I mean, I'm studying, I'm trying to learn as much as I can about everything, but there's going to be surely at some point.
Because your job is not to know everything about. Of course, he's going to help you, but your job is not to be just a consultant. I explained this to Carlitos. Hopefully, you're going to understand it. Carlitos, I think it's you still waiting for that offer, the trading offer. Is like to tell you the stuff.
Yeah, correct.
Okay. So Carlitos had the concern of saying, okay, so I could enter this trading offer, but I don't know anything about trading, so I can't do anything. And I said, you don't need to know trading. You need to know why they want to do trading. That's what you need to do. So the way you do this is when you show up to the call with a frame, you say, You create a good frame, which is I'm gonna ask you questions to see if I can help you, and then you can ask me all the questions you want. So if they start bombarding you with questions here, you say, do you remember that you said that I was gonna ask you questions? And then you can, okay. And if they don't want to, you say, if you're not gonna respect the basic thing that we said on the call, how do you expect us to work together? Boom. Now, when you get to the second part, the questions and what you're explaining is within the program. If they're asking stuff, so for example, let's say that what would you be selling first? It's like marketing leads, pretty much.
It's like a combo. It's basically like packages of outreach where they're trying to get you to get into a bundle of LinkedIn outreach, cold calls, and emails. But then, if you can, they want you to upsell into marketing and accounting. And they have about 30 different companies that are like pet care, travel, and shit like that.
Okay.
So, the most part, I have to like deal with the lead gen. So all of the things to do with outreach. It's like I don't know all the things about every single process of how all of the team members do all of X, Y, Z. If they're like, I've tried this with my LinkedIn strategy, how do I know that you're going to do anything different?
Yeah. So the first thing with that is you have to talk to them, and if they start asking you questions like, okay, how many LinkedIn messages are you gonna send per lead every 2 minutes? Random question. You don't answer that, and you're not concerned they put you in the spot. You say, well, that is not my job to say because that's information that is classified for the students because that's what the coach coaches them on. My job here is to find out if you will be literally throwing your money out of to nowhere by joining here, if it doesn't make sense. So I'm gonna make sure that this will help you. If this will help you, as looking so far, then I can explain you how the program works. And specific questions like that go to the coach, not to me. Is that simple? Okay. And you always want to take that approach because if you take the approach of trying to answer everything, first, they're never going to stop asking you questions. They're going to ask one, and then second, a third, a fourth, a fifth, and they're not going to stop. They will take the frame. Jared knows. The second one is that your authority goes to shit because now they have the frame, and you're not going to close people if you're on their frame. You're going to close people if they are on your frame. Yes? If they're not on your frame, forget about closing them. Forget about that. So that's one thing. And on the second thing, which is basically, but we tried this stuff. Why is this different? Well, it depends on what's the angle. If it's just a general one, I'm just gonna say, well, why do you believe it's different? You booked a call with us knowing that someone scammed you before. What I'll tell you why we're different, but first on your side, what do you think? What do you see? What do you see in us? That's the first thing I'm saying. And now I'm making them sell themselves to me. And the second thing is that I'm gonna find out exactly what is that they got fucked over with. So pretty much, okay, what happened before? This happened. Okay, so they promised you X amount of leads, but they gave you Y. Is that correct? Yes. Okay. We don't do that. If we say you get X leads, you get X leads. And this is how it happened for multiple clients. That's just a fucking guarantee that we have. And I'm making a random example, but my point is you find out where they got fucked and you cover that. You cover that hole pretty much that they have. On the other side, you always want to make sure that you never lose the frame. And with those, that problem is covered. Does this making sense?
Yeah, that's really good. Thank you.
Absolutely. All right. So I'm not here to coach. I'm here to close. I said that to a manager. That's nice. That's cooking. I cooked. By getting all of COP MITD, you build a gap big enough for them to buy, correct? No, I think you're mixing concepts. So the gap is not because they have commitment or ownership or motivation or interest. The gap is basically a combination of everything. The gap is the combination of everything and nothing. The gap is this is where they are, this is where they want to be. So I'll make it super simple. This is where they are, this is where you want to be. Your job as a closer is to insert yourself here and then you just, that's you. Build the gap so that they say, I am here, but I should be here. And now it feels so far. Like, wow, I need to do so much. But don't make it extremely big so they believe they're impossible. Like, there's a limit. It's what I explained with the doubt lesson that all of you should watch. The gap is just that. They are here, they want to be here, but the majority of people believe that it's like this. This is the gap. This is what they really believe. Your job as a closer is through data points. First, you need to understand, but then through data points, you make this through data. So X, you've been working in this job for this amount of time, you got this results. For how long have you been having them, blah, blah. So that with data, this is the gap now, big. But when you add the emotional side, it's boom. How do you feel for being in here? How much longer are you gonna stay here? And now the gap that was here when you started double and triple. So now it's like this. And now if you have that much of a gap, people start to panic because they realize, oh, I really need to, I really need help. I really need to make this happen. I am losing so many things because of it. No. Okay, Jesus, guys, chills with the fucking names. So my point is, it doesn't make sense. Like, it's just that with the gap. Obviously, I want you to imagine that I should make a drawing of this. I'll make a drawing. Hopefully this will completely solidify all the idea and we can jump to the role plays. I already know who will be the closer out of, like, I'm just gonna say it. No democracy. You guys have no option. So basically, the gap, this is awful handwriting. The gap is basically, this is how they start. This is where they are. Okay, it's basically going to be the initial state and the final state, where they are, where they want to be. And the gap is literally just this much. Nothing. After you do the data gathering, the initial state is here, and the final step is here. It's further now. Now you have this much of a gap. And then if you keep going and you actually do the right stuff with the emotional state, this is pretty much the gap. And I was like really far. The thing is that I want you to imagine, since we're drawing this, that these two stages, they have like a, in their mind, they have a strength that they want to attract each other. They're like two magnets. They're pushing to become as close as possible because it's what they really want. They want to believe that they can do it. So just with everyone, we all want to dream that we can get a super good body or become super rich quickly. So it's like there's an invisible force that is putting them together. And basically, I want you to imagine that you have little bricks that are forcing this to not move. And this will be commitment. This will be pain. This will be the data. This will be the emotions. This will be the motivation. This will be the interest. Am I making sense? And these bricks are not allowing these two to connect and get close together like this. Because if you don't do this correctly, basically at the end of the call, they're going to believe that, I mean, I can just do it quickly. And they're not going to feel like they need you. And the gap is not going to be big enough. Yes? All of you follow with this? Awesome. All right. So, Picasso. Yeah, I'm literally Picasso. I'm basically Michelangelo. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to do roleplay. I would like us to give each other 4 minutes again. Stretch, look at the sky. I'm going to check if my Latina didn't burn down the whole penthouse, just in case. You never know. You always need to check these things. and then we're gonna start. Jared, I would like you to close. Isabel, are you saying hi or tell?
Can I be the prospect?
You can be the prospect for sure, but you have to be diabolical. You know
I
what?
will be diabolical.
Nice, nice, excellent. All right, 4 or 5 minutes, and we're back. Okay. Isabel has left the building.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Carlitos, can you put a wig and pretend you're Isabel?
My
Being
no, can you hear me?
diabolical with the camera off.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you. We can hear you.
No, we
Oh,
can't.
okay. I was about to go fix it up. All right. I need to change my name.
Okay. I can't wait for the new trainings.
No.
So, all right. As soon when you're ready, Isabel, it's Jared. What are we closing her on? Logan. Oh my God. No.
I'll
What is
I'll
My
do moves
offer.
method.
Yeah, yeah.
movements met? Can you explain once again what this is? So it's a mobility.
Yeah. Mobility training, typically they're like older people that have pains or stiffness,
Okay.
and mobility fixes that.
Okay. Okay. Sounds good.
All
I'm
right.
ready.
Is Logan a boy or a girl? Or
Boy,
am I gonna find that out? Okay.
you'll find it out.
No.
All right.
Oh no. Okay. So 3, 2, 1.
Logan, how's it going, man?
Good. How's it going for you?
It's going well. Can you hear me good? See me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I could hear you. I just can't see you.
Oh, okay. Hold, how do you turn the camera on?
Do you see, are you on a computer or a phone?
I'm on my phone.
All right. If you click the screen, you'll see on the bottom left, there's a little camera button.
Mm, okay, there we go. What's
Okay,
up?
nice. Nice. Where are you calling from?
Yeah, I'm in I'm in Nashville, Tennessee.
Okay, Nashville. Nice. All right. Well, Logan, I know we do have limited time today, so you want to jump right into things?
Yeah, yeah. No worries. Sure.
Perfect. So pretty much on this call, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be answering one question, and that is if it makes sense for you to work with us for your mobility training. Now, the way that we'll do that, I'll ask you some questions, really get to understand what you have going on, your situation. And at the end, as long as everything makes sense, I'll go ahead, show you our program, and I'll let you ask any questions for me at that point. Sound good?
Uh-huh. Yep.
Cool. Now, just a fair warning, I'm very direct. So I will ask some personal questions or some deep questions. Now, the only reason why I would ask them is to really make sure what we have could actually work for you. Cool?
Yeah, yeah. I'm very direct, so yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I could see that. All right. Well, Logan, I'll let you kick things off. You could start by telling me what led you to book a call with us today, and then we could take it from there.
I'll show you. I'll show you how to do this. Just do the same. Do the same. I'll do the intro. I'll do the framing. And I'll show you where you fucked up. I mean, okay, let's just start like that. Basically, it's just the framing. The intro was not bad at all. So the framing. So Logan, basically, this is gonna be a quick call. Basically, my understanding is I want to know why you really booked this call. I want to see if I can really help you with that. And are you in a stable position right now? It's like you're kind of moving all around,
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm on my bed.
right? Do you want to like? I'll give yourself a moment. Just put the laptop somewhere stable so you can sit and just be very present. I would like you to be not be distracted at all.
Yeah, I'm in my bedroom.
You don't have it.
Like the dogs. Yeah, I don't have a desk. The dogs are like barking downstairs, so I came up to take a call, you know.
Okay, cool. You can be very focused and present on this call. I don't want you to be distracted by any doubts or anything.
No, yeah, yeah, probably. I'll
Cool.
be focused.
Awesome. Great. So now the whole point of this call is just for us to answer one question, which is, does it really make sense for you or not for you to join Movements Method and what we can do? I'm going to ask you some questions now, and then I would like you to ask me any questions that you have. And if it makes sense, we can talk about all the details. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah, totally. Totally makes sense.
Okay, so it's just, I don't know if you're just playing it subconsciously, Isabel, or is it just the way that I am speaking, but I want you to see the difference. She's now looking. She's present. What I would have done is first you had to do what I did, which is call her out immediately. Boom, you need to be looking at me. If you're not, we're not gonna advance. That's the first. And the second thing is that she didn't pay attention. So if she kept doing that, what I was really wanting to do was to say, okay, say what I just said. Repeat what I just said. And now
Uh,
she'll be like,
yeah.
and if she hasn't been paying attention, like I told her to be fully present, she wouldn't be able to because she wasn't like listening to you at all. And that was the problem. So the frame was
Okay.
bad, but it was pointless. Jared, if I give you the formula so that you can make $1 million in 15 minutes, and I'm not even kidding, like a legit formula, but I say it to you whilst you're looking at an Instagram TikTok, you're looking at a fucking reel on any of those poisonous platforms, you don't even listen to it. Was it good advice? No, because you didn't listen to it. It served no purpose. So she wasn't even paying attention
Hmm.
to you. The whole point here is that she needs to listen to it. Otherwise, there's no point in making a frame. Super important. Super important. They have to be present for that frame. Jaden, you want to say something on this?
Yeah, when you did the frame, you didn't mention like I'm gonna ask some questions and then I want you to ask me questions whilst I'm explaining the program. Did you do it because it's just a role play? Or because you did it a bit shorter?
No, no, I'm just trying to get the point. I'm just trying to get the
Okay, okay.
I also changed the way I said at the beginning. I don't know if you realize. But
Yeah,
I just wanted to explain that she's not present. I just wanted to explain
okay.
that. But no, no, don't take it hardly. The way you do the intro is always the same. Maybe these two guys on the movement method, they have to add the little part that we just discussed at the beginning. Maybe in some cases, but the intro is always the same. I'm here because we are here because we want to make sure that one question is answered, which is it a good idea for you to join? The way we're going to find this out is I'm going to ask you some questions. Then you can ask me all the questions you want, and we can see it. And then you say about being direct. I'm also very direct. I would like you to be as transparent as you can with me, just as I'm about to be with you for your literally your own benefit. Make sense? Make sense. Awesome. Two things that you can add. This is more optional. At the end, you can say, and don't feel pressured. If you don't want to do anything, you don't have to. I really like saying that. It's something that I'm starting to do a lot because people already know that they're gonna be pitched. So it's like helps a lot. And the first is that you can do a sneak borrow authority pick because some people, I don't struggle with this because when people listen to me, they always see me as an authority. I don't have the problem with that. But if you feel any of you feel like this could happen, if you have a strong influencer, if you don't, you can just say the brand's name. But if you have an influencer, you can drop him down for a second and you say, for example, in my case, I can say, so my name is Lucas Guy, as you can see down here in the bottom left corner. Brandon told me to talk to you now, and I jump into the frame. So it's like that gives me more authority because it is the influencer who told me to talk to you. That makes sense? You can always say that. It will be good, and it takes like 2 seconds. Not a problem at all.
Hmm.
So, that being said, framing is good. Just keep in mind what I said. Now, Isabel slash Logan will be pretty much saying, the reasoning on why he booked the call.
All right. Yeah, so I saw that ad you guys had, saw a bunch of ads, and I bought the toolkit. So yeah, I'm excited to go into all of that.
Okay. So you saw the ad that we have, you bought the toolkit.
Yeah.
What were you trying to get out of it?
Out of the toolkit, yeah, I
Yeah.
just want to get mobile, you know,
Mobile. How so?
like flexible, strong. Yeah.
Okay. Are you mobile, flexible, strong right now?
I mean, yeah,
No, no,
I could be more.
it's not going anywhere. It's going super slow.
Hmm.
Logan, how old are you?
I'm 51.
How mobile are you right now?
Yeah, well, I'm not as mobile as I want to be, but I'm pretty mobile like, compared to people in my karate.
I need more explanation on that. Do you want to be as mobile as Spider-Man? Do you want to be normal? What's the goal here? And what is most people? I don't know.
Well, yeah, like I want to be able to do a bunch of high kicks and like deep squats and all that stuff that we do and like my karate instructor does.
You see how those two questions gave me something extremely big now? Do you catch it or not?
Hmm.
So now I know literally
Yeah, I just don't know. I just don't know how you, I mean, I guess we just watched it, but like how you caught on that. Because I was just going off of what she said. Like, how'd you make it go so much quicker and get more information?
it's just that what you were asking was basically going to be a four more questions that she was barely going to answer, and that then you will be like, I don't know what to ask now. But
Hmm.
me going on that immediately, boom. Do you see how much he opened up immediately? Like basically dropping the karate thing and why it's so important now.
Hmm.
So there are two things that I did here. Number one is I understand that the prospect is not that capable of expressing himself quickly. Therefore, I need to not go into, as I'm always saying, you can go with the tangible and non-tangible routes. Going with the non-tangible routes, which is what you were trying to do, is not going to help me. But I can just go on data now. So I'm just going to go with data. I'm going to say, okay, how mobile are you? What does it look like to not be mobile? I need more information. Pay attention to how I said it. Do you hear how I talk to him? I don't understand this. I need you to tell me. It's like I'm basically the authority boss immediately after two questions. No
Hmm.
complaints at all. Immediately dropping that. And the second thing is, this is something that I learned when I was working in the ER. When I don't know if any of you, I mean, I don't know how much you know about an ER, but you get patients who get constantly hurt, but they're imbeciles. They just start saying a bunch of shit, complain, blah, 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 especially because it was a free hospital. And I had a doctor who was the head doctor. And when she went in and talked with the patients, she started like boom, 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 boom. The questions were so fast and so direct that the prospects just felt overwhelmed immediately and they couldn't think about their persona or their motives. They can only focus on answering. So right now, Logan slash Isabel in the background cannot think about this is the character I need to play or have this attitude. She's just, I don't give her time. She needs to answer. I know that maybe because it was two questions, it's kind of difficult, but if I did this for four questions in a row, that I'm boom, 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 immediately hitting her with questions that direct, it's like we're going so fast that she doesn't have time to be not a good prospect. I don't know if this is making sense. Is it?
It's making sense, but what if she wasn't playing a character and that was just her? Would it still work that way?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because it's working with her playing the character, but at the same time, if she was genuinely like this, she doesn't have time to not respond properly. She doesn't have time.
Hmm.
I'm putting this pressure, and at the same time, I'm being very precise with my questions. It's like a surgical cut where basically, what do you mean with being more mobile? Do you want to be Spider-Man? What do you mean with that? What do you mean you are more mobile than more normal people? I don't understand that. Please clarify. I'm being so specific that she needs to tell me, yeah, I need to do this because. And now it's like I am forcing the because. Okay?
Hmm.
Because she cannot answer that question without giving me a reason because it was super vague. But now me asking a clarifying question like that, she needs to give me a because. And you saw it. The because it was extracted super quickly. It's because of the karate. And I need to do the kicks and the squats. And now obviously my next question is how many, like, she does this stuff in karate? How frequently? Why is it important for her to do this? Is she being able to do this stuff right now? When was the last time she was able to do so? So if I start bombarding her with questions like that, in, I don't know, in 3 minutes, I have so much information. And do you see how
Hmm.
fast I would have gone with the call? And now she's
Yeah.
just, what? But is this making sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. You just like put pressure on them, and then that kind of gets them to crack.
Yes. Especially with this
Hmm.
prospect that seems to be all over the place. So I'm like, boom. Okay. People
Hmm.
who are all over the place, they respond very well to an authority. Like very well. The things that you have to know who, which authority, because otherwise you end up being the rebel son that doesn't listen to the dad. That's because he doesn't perceive the dad as an authority. If you're perceived as an authority, the rebel boy will listen to you. So that's
Hmm.
pretty much it. But we'll see how you keep going. Jaden?
Yeah, with these types of prospects, you told us that you have to be specific, but you still asked open-ended questions like, "What do you mean?" But then you said, "What do you mean? Do you want to be like Spider-Man, like X, Y, and Z?" So do you mean that with specific, or
That was ultra specific. So when you have prospects like this, you have to be very specific because if you're very open, so what are you looking for? To be mobile. Why is that important? Because I want more mobility. So I was like, okay, go fuck yourself. But if you're very specific,
Hmm.
like I did, okay, so do you want to be more mobile than Spider-Man? Do you just want, who are you comparing yourself to? What does that mean? Now it's like, it's so specific that she has to tell me. No, I don't want to be like Spider-Man. I just want to be better than the people at karate or do the same as they do. And now I'm going to ask, let's say she never said the kicks and she just said karate. I'm going to say, okay, what are the things that the people do in karate? They throw high kicks. Okay, can you do that? No. What can you do? And do you see, it's like I'm going so fast with those questions that she's overwhelmed and it's she doesn't have time to think or to do anything else but just to give me the question. And if the question is good and specific, she has to give me a specific answer because I'm not giving her time to do anything. I wouldn't be the whole call like this because it's like a lot of pressure. But I am being like this very quickly because I can already tell what type of prospect she is. Clearly, I'm not expecting this out of you, Jared. And I'm not doing this because I want you to copy me. I don't want you to jump into the call now and try to do the same. It took me a while to be able to do this. Like, I want you to do the best that you can, not copy me. I will
Hmm.
always jump in and help you more, but I just wanted to, I just wanted to show you the difference between how slow this would have been and me just asking two questions. Boom, I already know. I literally closed. I literally know what's going on now. He's comparing himself to his karate buddies. Of course, there could be more truth behind that and more things, obviously. But I immediately got a crucial information on what's the situation here. And then if I want to expand more, I can just pull okay, why is that a problem? What's the challenge that you're having with that? And then I can insert my solution. It's like you can go really fast. But anyways,
Hmm.
give it,
Okay.
keep going. I want to see what you do.
All right, Jeremy. So you want to become more mobile for karate so you could do kicks. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Is that something that you can't do right now?
Yeah, I can't do some of it.
Okay. What? Should you just leave? Am I tripping?
Okay. It wasn't bad. Questions weren't bad. I will be more specific. Let's give her a moment. I will give her a moment, and basically the questions that I would ask would have been, so you not doing kicks, not doing squats, how much can you do of them? Nothing at all. Nothing at all. Nothing at all. Okay. Why is it important for you to do them? It's like I'm gonna go even faster to the like, but you're not doing bad.
Sorry. Okay, there we go.
So shoot.
Okay. All right, Isabel. So what can you do in your karate class?
Isabel?
I can
Yeah,
do,
Logan.
I can like kick and do some of it, but it is like more like I can do main stuff, but it is more difficult, like painful, and then I don't know where how to do the big thing like my karate instructor can do. Like I can't do those big kicks.
Okay. What's painful?
My ankles. Yeah.
Okay, can you tell me about that? What kind of pain do you have?
Yeah, they just got really busted up before from doing like a lot of like I did a lot of wrestling or whatever. So my ankles are they they hurt when I am on them for a while. Like obviously I push through it and do it what else because I mean I don't care, but they still hurt. And I just have to
Okay.
stretch. I have to stretch a lot before doing things.
How long does it take of you being on your ankles for it to start hurting?
Oh yeah, I mean I have my karate classes daily and every time they are painful, like throughout.
What, as soon as you walk into the karate class, they're painful, or 20 minutes in, or at
Yeah,
the end?
they just I mean they get worse as I jump around, you know.
I'll show you. I'll show you. You're not doing bad. What do you feel is the problem with what you're doing, Jared?
The problem with what?
The problem with,
I would say
tell me.
I'm directing it too much instead of letting the prospect direct.
Yes, and you're not getting data that can win. So you decided to go immediately with the pain, which is okay. I mean, probably would have asked more why it's important for her to kick and do the squats. That's what I would have done. But if you went with the pain, let's just do it for the purpose of this role play. So, Logan, you told me that you have busted ankles. What does busted mean?
Well, I did wrestling for a couple years and I had a couple injuries. They just got sprained a lot. Like I have weak ankles, like I had them.
What,
So
how many?
yeah,
How many?
a couple times, like six.
A couple is two. Six is three times more that. So you had six sprains through the time that you did
Yeah.
rest. How can you even walk, man?
Well, I mean, they it healed after a while. Like not six sprains specifically, six like times when they were injured that I couldn't walk on them. Like it was pulled or it was I don't know what was going on, but they were too painful to walk on. But yeah, now it's not like that.
But you told me that they hurt. So in an intensity scale, from one is I don't feel any pain, and 10 is I can't even walk, please just kill me. From 1 to 10, where are you with the pain on your ankles? Especially when you do the
When I do the training,
yeah, when you're doing karate sessions.
yeah, like 6, 7, 6 to 7.
What would that pain be? If 10 is dying, 6 to 7, what would be for you?
Well. Well, I mean, that would just be like sharp pain. Like it hurts when I do the exercise. It
Can you
doesn't hurt that,
can you
huh?
walk?
Yeah, yeah.
It doesn't
Like I
hurt.
could still do, yeah, so it's often at a 2 to 3. It's like a 2-3. But then when I work out a lot, it can go up to a 7. And and then I mean I do everything anyways. It's just kind of painful. Sometimes I've had to use a walker before when it's really bad, but that was a while ago.
So I even got higher than a 7 that you had to use a walker one time.
Yeah,
Okay.
that was like a 10, yeah.
Okay. So what I'm trying to understand is that if you even had to use a walker and you had 6 times that you hurt your ankles, you're still doing physical activity even though you're in pain. Why is it so important for you to do it considering, you're in pain?
Well, yeah, like I mean I'm a big guy. I've done wrestling. I've done all this stuff. Like my instructor is 71 years old and he's super mobile, super flexible, and he can do all the strength training and everything that he wants to do. And I'm not there.
You're a
And
big,
I want to be there when I'm 71, you know.
okay, we can talk about that. You're a big guy. How much do you weigh?
200.
200 pounds. Okay, that's interesting. How tall are you?
I'm 5'11".
5'11". Okay. So yeah, you're a big guy. All right. And the reason why you're doing this exercise is because you want to stop being a big guy? You want to reduce this bigness in you?
Oh no, like I need to be fit all the time. Like I want to be like I started doing karate like 9 years ago and now I'm a black belt and I'm I do it like 2 hours a day. I have another routine. I have a morning routine that I do and I just do all this physical activity because I want to be I want to be even more big and flexible and fit and stuff and I have like have to stretch for like 20 minutes at least before I can do anything because it's so painful.
So I want everyone to realize what just happened here because some of you might say this is going slow, or I don't know how much you realize how fast this went. First of all, do you see the difference in how she's answering my questions than to when she started? That was like mobility. So complete change in how the prospect is behaving. That's one. The second thing is this went from I just want mobility to I'm in pain to I'm fat to I need to stretch like 20 minutes. So these two things, basically the fact that she is fat and the fact that she needs to stretch 20 minutes are two major points that I need to play on. It's extremely important. Why? I'm gonna stop a little bit with the karate now, and I'm gonna focus on the fact that the weight, the weight is something crucial for this prospect because they are, like she says, she does like 20 things pretty much. So it is an important thing for this prospect to lose that weight. That's a key point. I wrote this because I need to know how many hours the prospect works out. I need to know why this is tied to basically the mobility. Yeah. Because so basically, if I understand the weight challenge she has, I can link that to the mobility. And by linking the mobility, I can say that she has to stretch for 20 minutes. This is how I'm anchoring this one. Is this making sense? Like the mental model I'm following, or just completely lost? You guys are like, it makes sense, but I am completely fucked mentally. So
Yeah, it's like 500 IQ, but I'm also kind of confused.
so making it simpler, making it simpler. The prospect shows up. The prospect says that it has basically a mobility problem, right? Basically, I want more mobility. You ask about that, like I did, and the prospect says that he's in pain. Okay, so I'm not saying to ignore the mobility because this offer is about mobility. So whatever it happens, whatever it goes in this call, I need to tie it back to mobility because it's what I am selling. Yes? Now, this prospect said that he is in pain. And this pain, I need to know what this is. So this pain, we started clarifying that pain. We found out it was the ankles and blah, blah, blah. It's like, okay, so pain in the ankles. Okay, cool. Awesome. Makes sense. Now I need to know how much and how big that pain is. And they said that she even had to use a walker. That is actually really concerning because it's like, okay, this is a big pain. So immediately I'm going to go, if you have to use a walker, why are you still doing it? There has to be something deeper there because he is going through a lot of pain to still do it. So is karate her whole life or what's going on? And basically the answer was that big guy. He's fat. He's big guy. He is really fat. He needs help. He needs to change that. So now I realize that this is basically a weight issue. That makes sense so far? And before you go, so it's the mobility thing that happened was actually tied to the pain. And that pain is tied to the fact that this person just wants to lose weight. Yeah. And whatever reason, I need to expand a little bit in here. Like I need to know what do you mean? Why is that important? Why is that relevant to lose? Because even though digging into the pain is important, we know what's more important to understand why he's enduring the pain. Because he's enduring a lot of pain. So I need to understand why he's enduring all that pain. And I found out that it's because he weighs a lot and he wants to change that. That's why he's also doing so many hours of work, so many workouts. So if I understand that, then I can tie that weight into basically the reason, which is why does he want to lose weight? Not really sure. I know. Is it health? Is it finding a lady? I don't know. And then whatever that reason is, I need to link it again with mobility because it is what I'm selling and I don't want to go completely in a tangent. So the whole point here is that we start at mobility and we end at mobility. And we just made everything perfectly tied up so that every point can connect with each other. And now we completely understand that the prospect is someone who needs the mobility trainings so that he can keep working out. Because if he keeps working out, he can lose the weight. And if he loses the weight, he gets the golden goose, whatever it is. It could be women, it could be healthy, it could be playing with his children, whatever it is. But now that I explain it this way, does it make more sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So it's just this is how I operate in the calls. It's like this, I build this mental map instantly and I say, okay, you guys should do the same. Jeremy Logan, you wanted to ask something?
Oh yeah. I guess you wouldn't be able to tell because I'm not, but the weight is muscle.
Really? Like muscle?
Yeah.
It's a lot of muscle.
Yeah. Like I'm jacked.
Okay. So you're jacked. All right. So, I mean, I would have probably seen it, but if that is the pain, if that's the thing, let's change this. So let's say that instead of weight, it would have been just pure muscle, okay? So now, basically what I need to change is, okay, why is so important for you to have these muscles considering all the pain you're enduring? Why? I need to know that, right? So if it's so important for him to keep having these muscles, why is that? Does he want to be Mr. Olympia? Does he just want other men to glaze him? I don't know. I need to know. So I'm going to ask questions and I'm going to find my golden goose once again. And then I'm going to tie that to mobility because like I said, basically the whole thing is that Because let's say he wants to become Mr. Olympia. He wants to become Mr. Olympia. Therefore, he needs to train. And to train, he needs to endure a lot of pain. And the only thing that is stopping the pain is the mobility, stretchings, and all that. And now he needs a better stretching because he's spending 20 minutes. That's a lot before everything. So immediately, I have already a close call in my mind. Of course, and I said this once to all of you, this that I just built here, it's, and I'm always making reference. So hopefully all of you seen the movie, the Avengers movie, when Doctor Strange grabs the time Infinity Stone, I don't know, and he sees like 1,000 futures or something like that. And he's like, no, 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 whatever. That's you literally. So as soon as the prospect is talking, you see a future. So the mental map that I just created, which is all this. Yes, I'm seeing this, but now the prospect says something else. It's like, oh, this changed. Now it's this, which is literally what happened. I created it with weight, and she said, no, 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 it's actually muscle. Okay, so boom, I'm changing this to this now. So now I went from I just want to play with my children to I want to become Mr. Olympia. And now she's probably going to add another detail that is going to change everything again. And it's just like it keeps changing, but I'm creating this mental maps on what it is. And that allows me to ask meaningful questions. But the problem here and the trick is that this is something that happens subconsciously. So I'm explaining to you guys the logic and how my mind works with this so that you can do the same, but not you're forcing it. I don't want you to be on the call. So Mr. Olympia is like, no, 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 no. I'm doing this in the back of my mind. Okay. What I am doing in the call, like I'm always telling, is I'm just listening. I'm curious. I'm an empty vessel. And I know it's difficult because you're playing two ends. In one, basically, you're just dumb and you just you just listen. And on the other one is basically you're, I don't know, Einstein building mental maps on the situation. I know it feels contradictory, but you can actually create that and you can do it. It takes practice, of course, but it's 100% doable. So Jared's, I'm gonna read your face, Jared. This is cooking. If I can do this, I'm gonna be awesome. I have no fucking idea how to do this. That's what your face is telling me right now. So I don't want you to feel like this is that complicated because it isn't. It didn't took me that long to do it. And if I can do it, you can do it too. All of you can do it. Right now, I'm explaining the logic so that this can ingrain into your subconscious minds. But always the whole point is to focus on just the prospect, just the prospect, just the prospect. Yes? Everyone is okay? This is making sense?
Yeah, I think I'm just absorbing right now, but it makes sense. Like I
Okay.
understand.
Cool, 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 cool. All right. Let's continue a bit. Let's continue a bit.
Wait, can you keep those notes up though? I was using those.
What? Oh, okay, okay, okay.
Those notes.
Schedule
Yeah.
because oh no. All of you are having calls exactly at the time that we have the group coaching call. Not good. Give yourself like 2 hours for fuck's sakes. So mm, it's not like we have group coaching
Okay.
every day, anyways. So you were basically so she said we're basically talking about the pain. Let's just take it from there, just from here. That she says like a 7 out of 10 pain with the ankle stuff. Okay, and let's see what she
hmm
says, where the story goes, and we start working it from there. So if you just asked, and she said that she hurt herself like 6 times, and she had like a 7 out of 10 pain, and that let's also take this because this is crucial, that she has to stretch like 20 minutes before doing anything. Maybe you can add the big boy. I mean, it's fine. Just mix everything. Go from wherever you want to. I want to see what questions you can come
hmm
up. Based on what she said, what would you
Yeah.
ask?
All right, Jeremy. So, given the fact that you have literally been in so much pain, one time you needed a walker, why do you continue to do all these workouts that are still hurting your ankles?
Well, yeah, it's not really fair. I mean, like I used to do wrestling. I I go on like world tours and stuff with my like rock star people. And I want to be strong. I want to be big. I want to be mobile. I want to be like that because like I mean I'm getting older. I'm 51. Like I want to be like that in my old age. Like my instructor who's 70. Like yeah.
Hmm. Why is that so important for you to be mobile and strong even as you get older?
Well, like my dad is like the complete opposite of my instructor. He can barely move. Everyone has to like help him when he goes around. He can't even walk by himself and he's like all like bent over and I don't want to be like that when I'm older.
Hmm. What do you think of when you see your dad being old and not really able to move?
I mean, I feel bad.
Okay. What about when you see your instructor and him being old but able to be mobile and still in shape?
Yeah, it's unfair. Like he's 71 and he can do some of the exercises better than I can. Like he can kick higher than I can. He's like
Okay. What do you mean it's unfair? You said that twice.
yeah, like I'm so much younger than him, like 16 years younger than him, and I can't even do the stuff that he can do. Like he's on an insane level, but it's like he's not dealing with any ankle problems or any back problems or shoulder problems like I am. It's like, yeah,
Why do you think that that's unfair to you?
because I shouldn't have to be dealing with this.
Okay. What makes you think that?
Because I'm not even that old and like I take good care of myself. Like I work out every single day and everything, so I don't know why I have to be like this.
Hmm. So you think because you work out, because you're taking care of yourself, that you should be able to be in better shape than you are? Is that right?
Uh, I'm in good shape. I just am not like I just have weaknesses in my ankles and all those other areas. It's like and I can't just be as cool as my coach with those high kicks and everything. Like I'm getting there, but yeah.
Why do you think you have these weaknesses when your coach is who's 71 doesn't?
I mean, yeah, it's because I did the wrestling. I hurt myself and I just pushed through stuff, like I don't care that like I want to do it anyways. Like it's embarrassing to have these issues at my age.
Embarrassing?
Yeah, I mean, you're at the dojo and like everyone's there and you kind of want to show off and then you have to like literally stretch for 20 minutes before you can do any of the exercises and it still hurts throughout the exercise.
Are you embarrassed going into the dojo because you have to stretch?
I'm not embarrassed going into the dojo, no, but
So
it's
what are you embarrassed of?
just not being able to do anything, like not being able to do the stuff my coach is doing. And I mean, I'm not embarrassed. It's just like, I don't know, like, why do I have to stretch all the time and and not do, like, just deal through pain the whole time?
Hmm. How long have you felt this way of being embarrassed and feeling like it's unfair?
Like, I don't know, like 4 years or so.
4 years you felt this way?
I'll stop you. I'll stop you. You're doing good. I want you to fix one mistake, and I'm going to explain it to you by zooming out so that we can analyze all the stuff that I've written down here. So one of the problems that you're facing now is that this prospect is not taking ownership. And the problem with this prospect not taking ownership is that if you allow this is unfair, it can come out as an objection, because it's just people who said things are unfair, they tend to just leave it as that because they believe it's unfair or I cannot change it. Because someone who changes doesn't say it's unfair, they say I'll change it. They just literally say that. So the first thing that you need to fix is the fact that there is not a clear path here. So you even got him to say it, but he didn't understood it. No, it's not unfair. You did wrestling, and that hurt you multiple times. He didn't do wrestling, therefore he's not like that. So do you think it's fair or unfair? No, yeah, okay, it is fair because you did the wrestling. Okay. Now, also, you're a big guy, you're jacked. I don't know if he's jacked as you. Do you think he feels that's fair? Unfair? Everyone has their own weakness and strengths. I'm gonna say it like that so that the prospect can understand it. That's the first thing. The second thing, which is what I genuinely think you kind of missed on, is before asking those questions that you were asking, I would have just said, okay, so right now you're jacked. Yes, yes. How mobile are you? I'm not mobile. So that's the problem right now. I need to know for this prospect how important it is to stay jacked and how important it is to stay mobile. And based on what I am seeing, I'm saying that this prospect wants to stay jacked and wants to really maintain himself like this. But in order to do so, he needs to be more mobile because he hates to fucking stretch. And by doing that, I will get to the same conclusion of it's embarrassing to live that way. But it will give me more of an argument. It will give me more of a standing point. I don't know if this makes sense. I'm not saying that what you did is wrong.
Yeah, so
Tell me.
so you're saying target the fact that you're jacked now, but you're not mobile. The pain comes from being mobile. And if the pain of not being mobile continues, then you won't be jacked anymore. Is
Pretty
that
much
it?
need him to realize it. Yeah.
Okay.
So, but again, you're not doing wrong. Now, the thing that you're missing out on is the embarrassing. If you can do this, you would make such a strong point. But my angle here, it's difficult to play with angles because angles are something you got to be very careful because they can blind you. But you damn right know that I'm going to use this angle. The embarrassing with the dad being cooked. So basically, I'm going to ask, okay, so you feel embarrassed now because of the way people look at you. Yes. How do you think your dad feels when people look at him by not being able to be mobile at all, to walk? Yeah, no, he feels really bad. Do you know what's coming? And I'm literally saying it like that because I want him to realize that he has the same future. And now I'm linking that embarrassment on how people look at him in the gym, in the dojo, whatever, to how he looks at his dad. And now he realizes because he's now in the middle of like, I'm seeing my future, I'm seeing my past, I'm in the middle. Where am I going? Completely fucked, saving myself. And I think that would be such a strong motivator for you to end up saying to him, do you want to maintain yourself in a position where you're basically going to be just like your dad? Or do you want to be more like your instructor who you're constantly comparing yourself to? And that would be such a motivator, you know? Like, of course, it could change. Depends on what Jeremy Logan says. But just on this is the new mental map that I have. And you can see that as the conversation goes, my mental maps keep changing and adapting. But at the same time, they start becoming narrower like this. And there's basically a point where I have so much information that I have built from a gigantic funnel a super sharp blade. And then all I have to do is just grab the little blade, walk to Jeremy Logan, and dead instantly. Do you see? Kind of like what's the play? But
Yeah.
rest assured, what I am doing right now is this is the 600 IQ, yes, but it is also showing that you're in a good direction because I'm not changing your directions. I don't know if you realize I'm not changing the direction you're going in the call. Like now you're fucking up. I'm just telling you how I would do it. It's like I am polishing what you're doing right now, but you're doing it very well anyways. You're doing it very well.
Hmm.
The point is that you can realize that there are more levels, all right? And I want you to keep improving that level so that you can end up being a complete monster at this. But very good. Now, based on this, let's say I want to see how you do this, and I want to see what the prospect says. Let's take it back to the fact that he said that he was embarrassed.
Hmm.
Ask that. Ask
Okay.
for that.
Jeremy, you said you're embarrassed?
I mean, yeah, like I like to show off in front of the boys and everyone. I like to show off, that's just me. And like if you're stretching before you work out, like it's not really showing off.
Okay. What do you think the boys think of you when you're stretching?
What do you think the boys think of you when you show off? Man, they said I'm awesome. What do you think the boys think when they see
Okay.
you stretching 20 minutes after you impress them?
Okay, I see. What do you think the boys think of you when you're showing off?
I mean, I haven't been able to show off for a long time.
For how long?
Like a couple months or a while, honestly. Maybe the whole time I've been having these really bad ankles.
Okay. So what do the boys think of you now?
Well, I don't know what they think of me, but I'd like to show off a little bit.
I mean, you mentioned you're embarrassed. You don't have any idea of what they think of you?
Well, I'm probably not as cool as I was before.
Why do you want to show off?
Okay. Why do you want to show off?
I mean, I'm a big ego guy, honestly. I I like to be seen as strong and everything.
Hmm.
Do
Okay. Do they see you as strong?
or do they see you as weak?
Do they see you
Well,
as strong or do they see you as weak?
I mean, I am a strong guy, so they probably see me as strong, but stretching like that is they probably see that as weak.
Why do you think they see you as weak when you're stretching?
No, no, no. So they see you as strong or they see you as weak? Taolesk.
I mean, probably weaker.
How do you feel about that?
Probably.
Well, I'm still better than most of them at most of the exercises, and I can still do a lot of things that they can't do. But I
Oh,
don't want to be seen.
sorry for interrupting you. So you're telling me that they have to stretch you more than 20 minutes?
No, they
Oh,
don't
that's
even have
you?
to stretch.
That's just you.
Yeah, my coach doesn't even stretch. He just jumps straight into things.
So, why do you say you're better than them, than most of them?
Well, I'm comparing myself to my coach, but most of them, I guess they don't stretch either.
You guess? Have you seen them or?
No, they stretch for like 2 minutes probably.
So how are you better than them on that? I don't understand.
Well, not with the stretching, with the workout.
What do you think they they think when they see you maybe being superior, but then having to stretch for like 20 minutes? What they're thinking?
That's embarrassing.
That's what you feel. You feel embarrassed. But what do they think of you?
I mean, probably that I'm not actually like functional, that I'm maybe broken and like I have weakness.
Well, I mean, I don't like playing devil's advocate, but this is clearly something that is relevant to you. So if we are your partners and we see you doing better than me, but then I see you stretching for 20 minutes, I'm not going to be thinking, maybe I'm going to be thinking that you're just trying super hard and then you cannot even maintain the pace. So do you feel this is how they think of you? I mean, I genuinely want to know what you say. What do you think? Right?
Yeah, that's accurate, honestly. I think so.
Why is that a problem? 'Cause it sounds like it is.
The fact that they see me stretching and think I'm less of a strong person.
And why is that a problem?
Well, I want to be at my coach's level. I'm like, not only am I not there, I also am not like I'm not able to show off. I'm not, no one thinks I'm like a strong man.
You're comparing yourself a lot with your coach. What does your coach think of you?
I think he wishes I had better. I think he wishes I didn't have the problems that I've had. We talked about it before, and he knows like how much it hurts me.
Okay, so stopping, and then I'll lead you, Jared. It feels like it's going slow. So in case you haven't realized, I took the liberty of like slightly assuming what's going on. I don't know if you realized it. I went for
Hmm.
it's happening, but I'm always like softening it up. I don't know if you realize it's like it seems that way, or this is what I'm thinking. I don't know. Am I correct? Am I wrong? It's like because I want to speed this up a little bit more. It's I want to speed it up a little bit more. That's why I took a little gamble. Now, basing with this, we just got that this prospect feels he started basically saying that he's better. Now he realizes that he's worse. Like literally. He's understanding that. And with this, I'm getting so many things. I'm getting so many things with this. So now, what do you think zooming out is relevant? Zoom out.
I think the fact, well, he wants to be seen as better than everyone else. Probably wants to be his coach's like favorite student or whatever, but he can't because of these injuries and the lack of mobility, really.
So zooming out, you have a guy who is enduring a lot of pain every single day because he wants to be better and is embarrassed on the way people are seeing him. Literally. You're literally seeing a guy who's enduring pain, working out a lot because he wants to prove himself worth in a way. Literally. To his coach and to himself, to the other students. We can talk in more details on that. But that's pretty much what's going on here. So if you understand that, what I would have done more than likely is clarify who are you trying to prove yourself good to? Yourself, the coach, the students? Because I'm kind of lost with that. I would like some clarification. And if there's something good in there, I'm gonna dig a little bit more. But then it's that point where you have to think, how is this taking me back to the mobility? Yeah. So I need
Hmm.
to link this to the mobility again. And me linking this to the mobility is saying, okay, so this is the situation that you're living today. How is it and why is it relevant for you to improve your mobility? And now he's gonna say pissed off. Well, because I have to work out for 20, I have to stretch for 20 minutes. I hate to do this. I'm embarrassed. It takes so much time. Okay, so you're looking for a way of doing this more efficiently to reduce the time of it. What are you looking for? What are you looking to get? Now I can introduce my product service as the solution to his problem. And this is why, answering what Aiden, it's a shame that Aiden is not here, answering what Aiden said, if you're just a consultant, the only thing you're talking is, so I want more mobility. But by actually taking the frame and asking the questions, you realize that this person wants more mobility because he's spending 20 minutes doing something that doesn't work that well because he's in pain, because he wants to show to the people around him that he's good. Do you see the layer of complexity on that? How much we went?
Mm-hmm.
By actually doing this, now the prospect has deeper reasonings on why he wants to do this.
Yeah.
So is this all this making sense? Especially you, Jared, but everyone else. Is everyone following?
Yeah, it makes sense. I could see how we did a complete shift too from the beginning of the call to now. Like thinking that it was about the weight, but then the more we go in, it's a
Yeah,
lot deeper than that.
yeah. It's not just shift on the
Hmm.
mental model, it's also a shift in the identity of the prospect. He started as someone who wasn't even paying attention, wasn't speaking much, to someone who then transitioned into, yeah, no, I'm jacked, I'm the best. I'm better than other people, to someone that says, yeah, no, I'm not better than them. I am 10 times worse than
Hmm.
them because the people take 2 minutes to stretch, some, and he takes 20. So you're 10 times worse. So the prospect understanding that. And if we make the prospect understand all that, we level with the prospect in a way that he's like, okay, I am fucked. Now we offer a solution, a way out through our thingy. Is this clear? Good?
Hmm.
Maybe this is where I would like your feedback, guys, because this mental models that I am explaining with this stuff is I could even go deeper on this. But at the same time, I know that the more I do this, the more complicated it might be. And you're like, oh, what the fuck? So where are you with this? How this gave you a lot of clarity? I know this definitely made all of you said, yeah, there's a lot more. I still have a lot more. Like I know that, and that's great because that's genuinely what I want. I want all of you to keep improving. But at the same time, I don't want the overwhelming, which is bruh. So where are you all with that? With this, honestly?
I wouldn't say I'm overwhelmed. I think the big thing is to realize that I just need to like watch this over and over again and the other content and engrave it into my subconscious mind to be able to do this stuff while still focusing on I'm just here to help and just be present and just listen to the prospect. So, yeah, I wouldn't say I'm overwhelmed, but I do realize there's a lot to learn.
Okay, that's great. That's great. Does everyone share this? Someone want to say something? Tyler?
Yeah, for me, I just wanted to say you could go deeper, like, because for me, I'm a person who, the more I know, the more I can apply it. Even though it seems complicated, obviously it will the first time you hear it, but as you keep on going and clarifying it to yourself based on your experiences, I think it could help if you go deeper. Pause.
Okay, that's good. Someone else? Ambro?
Yeah, this just ties back into Jaden's question. I'm not sure if it was answered, which is what you drew. Was that how you take your notes, or is that something you just do mental and you're just sharing it with us?
No. So if I'm on a genuine call, I'm not gonna be changing colors like an autistic guy. I'm just gonna be doing everything. First, it takes me a lot of time to change blue, right? I'm doing that for you guys. But if I'm the one doing it, it's literally this. I write this down with the iPad, with the pen, whatever, because it's easier for me. So there was a great example here. I need to find it. For example, here, where basically I understand that this part where we were talking about he's a big boy and I thought he was fat. I'm gonna make
We
an
can't
arrow.
see the screen, by the way.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that.
Whoops. Skill issue. Skill issue. Skill issue. Skill issue. There we go. So this part where we were talking about the prospect being big, that I thought it was fat. I was like, okay, I'm gonna put an arrow to weight because I know I'm probably gonna put a W. And then from there, I'm gonna put an arrow to mobility because I know that he was X hours. He works X hours. So sometimes I do that. I know the prospect tells me he works out a lot. So while he's speaking, when I'm listening, I'm doing this X hours, right? And then then I'm gonna ask him, like I kind of know, okay, I need to know this. I'm not saying that this is immediately the question that I need to ask because I'm gonna listen to all he says. And all of you know that I'm not a fan of you need to pre-plan every question. It's like I just want it to come naturally. But I'm gonna eliminate this and I'm gonna wait for the opportunity to say, okay, how many hours do you work? I work. Why is this not working? I work 7 hours a day. Wait, 7 hours a day? That's crazy. So I need to ask about that. But I do draw this stuff. I do this stuff constantly. Yeah, this is how I do it. I put arrows. Arrows really help me. But obviously, when I am writing the stuff, for example, if it is just me, I'm not gonna be typing weight. I'm just gonna put W. I'm not gonna be putting mobility. I'm gonna put mob. Make sense? I need to be fast. Obviously, when I am taking the notes and you guys are doing the role plays, I'm exaggerating the things a bit so that you guys can understand it. Yeah, because it's like otherwise, why the fuck am I writing this stuff for you? But if it's just me, this that already looks like a very unfortunate drawing. It will be way more unfortunate if I'm just doing it for myself. It's gonna be painful. It's basically no one is gonna understand it. Like nobody. It's a cursed language, but it's just for me. But for you guys, I write it more. I put some colors, make it a little bit more understandable. But this is what I do. Yeah. I do it with the iPad now every time. It's very useful. So make sense? Any
Yes.
Yes, sir. Any questions? Anything you want to discuss on this? Nope, nothing?
Yeah, I got a question.
You all right?
So before we were planning on taking the route with the dad versus the coach and asking that question.
Yeah.
Would you still have asked that later down the line? Or since we kind of took a turn, you would just go down that route?
I'll let Isabel slash Jeremy slash Logan answer to you. Isabel slash Jeremy slash Logan, do you believe that if I had compared this to your dad, it would have actually hit home?
Compared to everything, like if
Well,
you
not
did all
every,
of this,
not
like
everything, but if I said something like, so the way you look at your dad and you see he cannot move, do you think people are looking at you that way? Slash, are you afraid that in the future that's gonna be you? Do you think so?
yeah, what if?
So it's just about seeing that if the prospect says something, especially in the middle of multiple things, it's because it's relevant, right? So he mentioned the dad quickly, but it's like move past it very quickly. There were no questions on that. Another thing that I could have dropped very good information is the wrestling stuff. But based on how the conversation was going, I was like, okay, fuck it. I just know that wrestling, something that he likes, and kind of hurt him. But honestly, I want to go with this prospect. And this is again zooming out. If you zoom out, Jared, you see someone who's concerned about the age multiple times. He said, I'm getting older and I'm 51 and I'm seeing my dad who has this. And so it's like, okay, this is obviously going to be affecting him. He's obviously going to be thinking of this. It will be something to consider. That's why I wanted to go with that angle.
Mm-hmm.
And also, he's constantly comparing himself to the coach who is older, but he's better. So it's like he's always comparing himself to older people. He's that on the negative, his coach on the positive. So I'm basically my point is, I'm gonna ask him where today he sees himself at. Is he on dad's team or on coach's team? Which side of the coin? And based on the information that I'm getting, he's on dad's team. And if I say that and I say, okay, if you just keep doing stuff like this, what's gonna happen? Are you gonna end up as your coach or are you gonna end up as your dad? And that is brutal. That's brutal, literally. That makes sense?
Hmm. Yeah, so you would have. So there's kind of like two things here, where one, it's the people being embarrassed because people look at him, but then also the concern about getting older.
But I'm linking all of them into one. I don't see them as two different stuff. I'm using the fact that he feels embarrassed to connect how he feels when he looks at his dad. And then I'm gonna say, what do you think his dad feels?
Mm,
What do you think your dad feels? He's probably embarrassed. Wow, isn't that how you feel? So what's the difference between you and your dad? Just a few more years? And now it's like, holy shit. Do you see? It's a truck going past him.
hmm.
So I'm literally telling him, you are your dad. You're going to end up like that. You're not going to end up as your coach. And if I keep him doing that, the prospect is like, no, no, I got him. Make sense?
Are we gonna go on for a little bit
Yeah.
more? Because this person, yeah, I had this exact prospect, literally, like I played him nearly identically.
Okay.
And it was, I think my issue is that I didn't go into the fact that it was why he was pushing through the pain. Because I mentally categorized him as a high performer. So I'm like, oh, it makes sense that he pushes through the pain and does all this stuff anyways. Like I asked about it and he was saying, like I was assuming, but he was saying that he really loved karate. He was doing karate for a while and now he wants to be like his coach. And that's as deep as we got for the reasons he's pushing through it.
So the clue with that is for you to see the guy is in big pain, and yet he is still pushing. Why? Why? I know people who, without pain, they wouldn't be pushing. And this guy, with pain, he's pushing. So, what's really the motivation? You saying he's a high performer is, I mean, yeah, but I don't know. I'm not convinced that's enough.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. He gave the toolkit objection too, because he was like, yeah, I'm excited, I'm gonna do the toolkit like 20 minutes every day, add it on to my normal routine, get really mobile, and then once that's working, I'll come back and do some other stuff.
But you see, you didn't create the urgency by comparing him with the dad or with the coach. Now he's gonna be spending more time in this loophole of feeling like this, and the chance of him to speed up the process and finally be good died with you not closing him on that. So, like we always say, it's our closing skill. It's not so much about the money that we can make, is how much we can provide for someone else. I don't know how this in psychology is called significance, which is the capacity to create stuff for other people, right? It's like to help them to whatever. Is it needed with all of you? No. How relevant it is for you, it depends on every single one of you. Some will have a higher self on significance, others will just don't give a shit. But my point is, every time you get on a call with someone, they're on a call because they have a problem. And that's a fact. Otherwise, they wouldn't be on a call. So if you can identify what is that problem and you can help them overcome it, it's like you did something very well. This is something very good.
Yeah. I got most of the similar information, but then I was digging on the wrong things too, like the job that he had where he might not be able to do it because it's a walking job and his ankles hurt a lot and he can't go up the stairs and like I don't even know. There was so much. This guy had so much. His shoulders hurt, his back hurt, his hips hurt, his ankles hurt. he was trying to do this, he was comparing himself to his dad, like all this stuff. There's a lot of pain.
There's a lot, and I understand that when you have a lot of pain, you don't know really where to go. So the guide, your guidance is the prospect himself. You just ask him, okay, so
Mhm.
you're struggling with this, with this, with this. What's more important? What hurts more? This. Okay, I'm gonna keep going on this. Sometimes it is that simple, like genuinely. Cartal?
I wanted to ask, since we go into different directions and we talked about dead allies. So my problem is oftentimes I hit dead allies and I don't know how to navigate with this. Like one way is zooming out and going different L's, getting more data. But I heard from one coaching call that, for example, you said that the underground mentor is good with leading. He's being leading, but in a good way so he can get more data without, like, what I usually do is I get the information the prospect says to me, like for example the last thing. So how can we be leading in a way that it's good to not be in a dead ally and keep drilling into the pin, for example?
The thing is that I don't lead people to not be in a dead alley. I lead to speed up the process. I don't know if you've seen it. I don't know if you were in the part of the call that I kind of lead to Isabel, but I basically said, so is this what's going on? Like, or am I wrong? And basically the point is that you speed up the process. That's kind of like the point with leading, not so much about to get out of something. What I would say is, when it comes with leading, if you have to do it, you always have to act like you are not leading. So if you pay attention every time I lead, I say something like, so Jaden, it looks like you really don't like copywriting anymore. Or am I getting it wrong? It's like adding that little extra, or am I getting it wrong? Or I'm confused. Or because if you just say that, the problem with leading is two things. Number one is salesy, and if the people catch it, destroys trust. So without extra question, you kind of like, you can mitigate that. You can get away with asking a few questions like that if you know how to do it. And the second one is the fact that the problem with leading is that, what if I am going with the angle of copywriting, Jaden, but the reality is that the angle is that you just don't like Benjamin, the coach. It's like, no, I just don't want to be in the same mentorship as Benjamin for some reason. I don't know. So maybe it was that, but I am directing you. Oh no, you just don't like copy. So I'm making a mistake by leading you. That's the problem with leading. It is way better for the prospect to tell me himself. The problem is that sometimes if you are if you're advancing, but you're advancing very slowly, you can kind of lead to just speed up the process, give you like a push, but then you let the prospect do the stuff. And everything that I lead on people, I do it in a way that they can still direct me to the real conversation, to the real pain point in a few messages, in a few back and forths. Is never with, yes, okay, I'm leading you here and we're never getting out of here. It's like, no, 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 no. Because I'm always very curious, very intrigued. I'm always digging deeper, but I'm using it as a tool to just speed up the process. Everything that is bad can be used as a tool for good. Everything, even cocaine. Please don't do cocaine. But you can literally use cocaine in a way that it would help you. Don't do cocaine, guys. But you get the point? Yes? All of you tomorrow. Don't do cocaine. But hopefully you get the point. Andrew Nader looks like he knows his shit. Jaden, we talked about multiple topics. That means I can ask a random question. Jaden, anyways, does this make sense? Or
Yeah, 100%.
okay, good. We will be closing like beasts if we were on. Oh my God. Okay. Guys, stop. Is this clear? Are there more questions on all the stuff that we explained today? All good. Excellent. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you learned something today. That being the case, I will salute you all, and I will see you in the war room and on Sunday that we have the next call. Okay? Peace out.